It has been raining since 6 a.m. here. Good old Irish summer weather.
Man, what's the
86.
temperature like out there?
Here? I don't know. Let's find out. It is not. It says it's 16 degrees Celsius. It's totally not 16 degrees Celsius today.
Hold on. Wait, we're Americans.
Oh,
60
yeah,
degrees. Wow, that's pretty cold.
60. Yeah, that's nice and that's modest.
It is definitely colder than that today.
Colder than 16 Celsius? Hey, Skylar.
Yeah?
How much is 16 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Without looking it up.
Did you just fucking say to me? What did you just say to me?
So let's see. Sean, Ryan, Skylar, and Tyler do a podcast called The Shoot Show. Yeah, I bet you guys were in a lot of shoots. Oh, yeah. It must be a really good show. A really, really good show. Must have at least, 8 fans? 8, what do virgins like to advertise? What's a virgin advertising demographic? Oh, do you guys kiss each other's hands? As Don Rickles would say, you hockey pucks. Nah, it's just a bunch of dumb names too. A bunch of idiots. Quote Raven, nevermore.
I'm buff, I'm the stuff, and the girls just can't get enough. And I'm always in a shoot. Tyler and Skylar, you fucking suck. But Ryan and Sean are great.
And that's a shoot.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Shoot Show. This is episode 108, Judgment Day 2000. Great year, better than this year, that's for sure. With me, we have Double T Tyler Tubes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
The fresh birthday boy, Dank Possum, Ryan Clare.
Oh yeah, man, freshly 30. This is crazy, man. Possums aren't supposed to live like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty
Defying all the
happy.
odds.
Doing well and watching good wrestling this week, so I'm amped about that.
You're welcome. And last but not least, again, we have, because last week was just too terrible, I couldn't let that be the show we watched and talked with us about, so again, we have Babyface Brian.
Why, hello.
Yay.
You've redeemed me with this show. This definitely made up for the last one.
This was
Wasn't
prime
it-
WWF.
Wasn't it
Swings and-
like an
swings and
hour
roundabouts.
longer than the TNA show, but it felt like an hour shorter somehow?
Yeah.
I
It
don't know, there was an
flew
entire-
by.
It was much less
But
taxing.
by
on
the
your
time the main
soul.
event kicked off, I was like, this can't be it.
Yeah.
Well, it helps that the main event started an hour before the end of the show.
Yeah.
This is true.
So yeah, so what do we got on our plate today, Skylar? What are we eating?
Judgment Day 2000. It's a grudge match, I guess, by the video package between Triple H and The Rock. But most
Oh.
importantly, by the cover and by everything else, it's the first appearance or the return of Taker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
that's what they're really front selling, and then
Yep.
you're kind of left in the dark as you start the show because they start you off with a very info heavy montage about
Yeah.
what takes place in the span of an hour.
Yeah.
And you got 8,378 planes taken off. You got
Mhm.
5,936 people dying every hour. But
Super sad.
Skylar, how
Rest
many
in
babies?
peace.
How many babies did you say?
14,849 babies. But
That's too
Too
many
many.
babies.
well, it makes sense
Too many
because
babies.
how many times do
Way
you think
too
of
many.
sex in an hour?
A
Does
million.
anybody know
21,
that?
they said? They
23,
said
23. Was it 21? Okay, I wrote down 23.
20 something.
That's not right.
Man,
Yeah, it should at least be
cocaine-
72.
Cocaine was a lot cheaper in the year 2000, and the effects, it's like a ripple effect across the board.
Yeah.
We see that from statistics. But yeah,
Snort cocaine, think of sex.
the big story is the big Iron Man match that's anchoring the entire show. An hour of just grudge-fueled fury against Triple H and The Rock for the World Championship. It looks to be awesome.
This is peak Rock, right? This has got to be peak.
I don't know. Didn't he
WWF
peak like
Rock.
5, 6, 7, 8 times or so? Like this
I
is
don't know.
I mean,
Because
yeah,
then you gotta think after this, then the Austin feud. Never mind, because the Austin feud comes up after this.
he's
I don't know,
over
you're
as well.
all-
WrestleMania X7.
You're along the right lines, though, saying that this is the first of his many peaks. Because, like, when he won the title at Backlash the month or two before this, that was like his big crowning moment for the year 2000. So you're
But
not too
even-
far off.
Yeah.
Even Lulu noticed how many fucking Rocky signs there were in the crowd. Like every other sign was a sign for The Rock.
Oh, right off
Super
top,
over.
want to call attention to the extremely well designed "If You Smell" sign. Did you see
Oh
that?
my
Is
God,
a
the
rock
one with the
face
tongue?
with the articulating
Yes.
tongue. Like, wow,
Yeah.
what creativity, man! And
It was a
how
little
much would it
creepy.
suck to be sat behind that guy? Because
Yeah.
you know he's proud of it. He's gonna be sticking it up all show.
night.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But we don't
Uh,
kick off with the match on this one, though. We kick off with Vinnie Mac, Triple H, Stephanie, Shane, and DX
Yeah,
backstage,
man.
just chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're in.
backstage.
The show
We're in
starts
Lou-
off in a casting couch recording room.
Definitely.
We're in
I always
Louisville,
like.
and they don't care for the McMahons. Clearly.
Yeah. I always like when the rooms that they're in are just kind of 3 sheets
Yeah, you
hung up
tell they just put up a
and
wall
a concrete wall.
Yeah, you got your sheet in the corner, get a little accent light splashing off of it. It looks like a cool hangout. That's all it
So-
takes.
Yeah.
Judgment Day was originally an In Your House kind of sub title, and the WWE had been running the year before. They ran the Over the Edge in May of 1999, which is the pay-per-view that Owen Hart died at. And so after that, they didn't do Over the Edge anymore, and they replaced it with Judgment Day. So this is the first kind of,
This
the
is one
first
of my
year.
favorite pay-per-views. Names.
and it would run until
Yeah.
2009 when it was replaced by Over the Limit, which is a terrible name. For it.
Stupid. It should have stayed Judgment Day, and it should still be Judgment Day. I
Over
found
the
something, but I don't want to make Ryan mad for hitting a table.
But yeah, so
Oh,
sorry.
no.
So, but one of the things I like prominently featured backstage, in addition to the actual wrestlers, is current hardcore champ Gerald Briscoe.
Oh my god.
Gerald is
Who-
a mess.
Whose continuing misadventures are going to be a source of hilarity for the duration of the evening. And honestly, like I know, like it's totally stupid, but every time I see this dude, it makes me laugh because he plays bumbling stooge to perfection.
Oh, boy.
Yes, he has a
Yeah,
very
100%.
Don Knotts energy about him.
He's
I don't know where I'm going. And he's
Great.
everywhere just being attacked all night. I love it.
Oh, he's so great.
He also fights himself at one point. He punches a bathroom mirror.
Yeah, that's later. We'll get to that. That's just
Oh. Yeah, we got kind of a power group otherwise, other than I guess including Briscoe, but Stephanie, Triple H, DX, which is now just Road Dogg and X-Pac.
Yeah, now if we're talking peaks, this could be a peak Stephanie McMahon. Like she's women's champion at this point. She has assumed her final form. She is aligned with Hunter officially, and that's where she will stay on the Iron Throne.
Definitely. I
Is that what
agree
you
with
call
that.
Triple H? Never mind.
Ooh.
No,
But,
he definitely calls that the sledgehammer, Skyler.
Ah,
The golden shovel. We get to see the headbangers going after Briscoe, trying to get that
is that who that was?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
kind
I
of
don't remember.
very brief shots of that.
They weren't wearing fucking kilts, so I wasn't sure who it was.
But I mean, enough about
Injustice.
that. What we go to from there is one of the more interesting things of the evening, which is HBK and the ref outfit that he is wearing or
Yeah.
not wearing.
Entirely
on his
too
way.
sexy.
He looks like he's on his way to direct the porno taking place in the casting call room.
Exactly. And
he's
yeah,
definitely he's like pointing out.
if
This
you
room-
haven't seen this, he's wearing the shorts. If you've gone to a volleyball game in the last like 5 to 10 years, like at a college, and you're like, why are their shorts so short and high? It's those shorts. He's wearing those exact same shorts. It's even called, Triple H calls attention to it later on. So, I mean, it's a known thing. He said, you look like you're smoggling bananas in there. And Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
just appears shocked, and then we go to a match.
Which is weird.
He
He
keeps them
pointed
all.
that out to Triple H or to HBK, but he wears shorter, tighter pants later that night.
I don't know if they're tighter. They have a little bit more give, I feel like, even though there's less fabric.
And they may
Somehow
be
it's less
they
offensive.
may be They may be
True.
slightly wider in some critical areas.
Critical. Critical. And you know how when you pull some materials tight, they become a little bit more translucent? Like you can start make out shapes and forms and shit.
We'll get to
I think
that.
happens in a close
We'll get
quarters.
to that. Stick around, Thomas. We're going to talk more about that.
Definitely
Really
gonna
good
talk
dive into that.
What was the first match, Skylar?
The first match, well, first Kurt Angle came out and he started making a weird, like, I don't know, he started talking about he's getting more attention from teenage girls since teaming with Christian and Edge. And I don't know, it was just weird.
It's
But
a
yeah,
bad
him-
time right now.
Yeah,
It's a weird flex.
Yeah.
Flex.
But the first match is Kurt, Edge, and Christian versus Rikishi and
ECK.
Too Cool.
ECK versus Too Cool.
Man, oh
Before
man.
Too Cool comes out, though, we get. What does anyone else want to describe what we get before they come out with the shot that Edge and Christian always do?
Yes, I think Ryan needs to do that. Ryan, please.
Well, I don't know what that's referencing, but fine, I'll take it. Yeah, they come out, Edge and Christian teaming with Kurt Angle. They come out and obviously just going for the cheap heat, the proto SCU. This is the worst town I've ever been. Like they go directly towards the crowd heat for saying we're in this redneck town. They could refer to it as Louisville. Which, if you've ever
Louisville.
met someone from Louisville, they will that's akin to a family assault.
People have been shot.
Yeah.
been stabbed.
And they say for all the people in attendance who use flash photography, they're going to show you a new pose, and they all have these burlap sacks. You know, a poke sack, I guess the Louisville residents would call it, or a poke. But they all have I guess bluegrass accoutrements. They pull out hats and washboards and banjos.
Fake teeth.
And I think Kurt Angle's the one with the jug. And oh yeah, Edge has fake teeth, making for a great money shot straight
And
into
it
the hard
is-
camera. Cross eyes,
it's-
buck teeth, and everything. It's great.
Right about 7 minutes and 55 seconds in. And it's also worth noting that in the crowd, someone unfolds a sign that really clearly has "fuck you" written on it.
Oh wow.
I
I
can't
thought-
make out what the top word was, but the bottom two words were definitely "fuck you."
The sign that stood out to me during this segment was the "Who booked this shit."
Yeah,
Or
it
who
was like
booked
right
this
next
was-
to that
Yeah,
sign.
it was
Yeah.
right. I didn't even notice it. But yeah, that's good. That's all good and fun, you know, man. I thought it was hilarious.
Definitely
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
They're coming at my people, and even I thought it was funny. So that's cool.
But from one over team to another over team,
Oh man.
Too Cool is absolutely crushing it. Like this is the roots of like I think the kind of Enzo and Cass energy.
Yes,
For sure.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It shouldn't be over, but just is regardless.
Scotty Too Hottie and Brian Christopher are Grandmaster Sex
And
X.
they were
Mr.
crazy
Sexy.
over for that whole.
Yeah, no, the addition of Rikishi put them on a level that I think the fans didn't really expect, and it was such a fun element. Like I remember, I loved that at this like the years leading when they were doing this, like when they put the sunglasses on Rikishi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
I look at it.
dance.
I look at it similar to adding Danny DeVito to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You had a great
So
team,
true.
but nobody was really giving them a chance. So you put a known legend with them, and they're like, oh shit, let me check this
The
out.
sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit, man. The most unfortunate thing about that team is Brian Christopher's name. I hate the Grandmaster Sexy. I hate that you can't say sexy. Because it's not the word, it's sexy, and JR struggles with that. I feel like.
Grandmaster Sexy.
JR trying to call any Too Cool match is hilarious because the only one he says with any form of confidence behind it is Rikishi. He kind of stutters over.
Scotty too hottie.
To Hottie.
But Rikishi and I mean all of these guys. This was a good match, just all around, in my opinion. All of these guys were crisp. Too Cool looked great, but when Rikishi got into the match, man,
Crowd
they tagged him
crowd was calling for it.
Huge pop
just
for that.
as I
Yeah.
believe it might have been Christian, could have been Edge. He was kind of mocking Rikishi's little sidestep dance move, and Rikishi gets the hidden tag, steps in and does it right behind him, lays him down. And I was popping hard.
Rikishi was always like I liked everything that he did. I mean, he was always having fun with a lot of that stuff, and These guys are just, it was fun. It was a lot of call and response stuff. I mean, the crowd, like Scotty would do the worm, and the crowd desperately wanted to see that shit.
Yeah.
Like when he was going to go for it,
It was like
and it got denied, they were booing, they were mad. Yeah.
When he finally got that the worm, like it went up, people jumped like it was the people's elbow. Like it was.
It really did. It had a huge response to that, and you see why. It was a beautiful worm, and that 3 or 4 beat wind up where he's hopping on one foot. That's freaking great.
Yeah.
And
it's a 4 beat wind up because they'd spell out WORM.
Thank you for catching that, because I didn't. I didn't know until recently that Scotty 2 Hotty actually has worked with Otis in Heavy Machinery.
Nice.
I thought that was pretty.
You taught
cool.
him how to do the worm better?
I don't know if he taught him. He could have been doing it, but they have at least had some relationship.
He taught him how to do it better. He gave him the blessing to do the worm.
We'll go with this. But my favorite part of it is the hoo hoo hoo.
Yeah.
The
switch back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the second time we've seen Brian Christopher in as many weeks. It's funny, he popped up last week on Impact.
Oh,
as well as,
he did. Didn't
That's
he?
true. Wow.
His pants fall down as he does the Running Man at one point,
Yes.
and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Scotty 2 Hotty does the little like tiny dick motion that it's like, you know what? We're all having fun. I was telling my wife, I'm like, we're all having fun here. Like if somebody's gonna get a big ass in their face, it's gonna happen. Like the stink face was guaranteed in a Rikishi match.
And there's something about having Jerry the King Lawler on commentary for a stink face, is because that scream in the background just makes it
high pitch.
I love that it's Angle that takes the stink face.
Could you take a stink face?
Let's see the money.
Yeah, could you take a stink face?
I feel like Rikishi's a professional, and he probably put some powders and stuff back there to make it a little less.
I don't know if you played the shut your mouth game. He apparently takes a shit before every match, so I wouldn't want that.
I don't believe that. He's a professional. That's
rather him take the shit before the match than hold it in during.
Yeah, that's true.
know, man, because once you pop the cork, there's no going back until shower. You can't patch it.
I don't think you're finishing the job if you think that's true.
I'm just saying the manhole's open at that point. You
might need to see a doctor or something, man.
Shut the hatch, man. You gotta shut the hatch. Going into this, like, you know, everybody knows the whole thing about these guys is they do the dance. Rikishi's there, they do the dance. They didn't do the dance before the match, so I was really pretty sure they were going to win, so that they got to do the dance after, and they do get the win and the dance, right. And it was good old fashioned. Like that dance sums up what was fun about being a wrestling fan in, like, you know, the like late '90s, whatever. Like that dance, it's just so dumb, but damn it, it's fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
What do we got up next? We got the European Championship. This one right here was one that starts the show up, and I think is an underrated star of the show. It's the European champion Eddie Guerrero, accompanied by China at the time, Mamacita, defending against Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko. This was a Radicals battle royale, basically, man.
And we got to see him. We got to see him show up. That was fun.
Yeah,
like, we got to
Eddie and a lowrider.
Eddie pulls up in the super sick ass car, yeah. And Dean Malenko rolls up and gives his lines like it sounded like a bad dub of a Japanese video game.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're gonna get you.
Well, that's Dean Malenko in a nutshell, anyway.
Dean Malenko just looks cool, but he can't talk. He looks like he belongs in Goodfellas. But as like a silent hitman.
Yeah. This is Dean 2 times.
No lines. Yeah, this is Resident Evil 1 levels of like I can't read the energy, so I'm just gonna go monotone in the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? And Perry Saturn, I don't even. He shows up after Malenko confronts Eddie and China backstage, and I'm not even sure what Malenko had said to Eddie that Perry Saturn perceived as like kissing his ass, and his complaint was like, if you're gonna kiss somebody's ass, kiss the one that's gonna win. Or someone's like, Perry Saturn, please don't be backstage complaining that your ass isn't getting kissed. Like, your name's already Perry.
Yeah,
like,
Mr. Saturn, we've got multiple reports of you asking people to kiss your ass out in the parking garage.
Yeah, I feel like you're
That's
shit where
Vince
you're
got
eating
the
here, man.
idea.
Yeah. But Perry
Is that a
Saturn
mop
is
bucket?
Perry Saturn is what was the little meme that was going around the pick your boys group, the
Yeah.
underrated wrestlers. I would
Stable.
definitely have him. Boys
Yeah.
Stable. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's a OSW thing. Like, yeah, they
Oh.
have there's like the rules to the boy stable. Is that Irish OSW?
Yeah, they are apparently. I don't actually listen to them.
Dude,
I know they're really popular though.
Just
it's
kidding.
video podcasts. Like they edit video podcasts like amazingly,
Oh,
man.
hell
Like
yeah.
props to those guys. Go watch like some of their like OSW YouTube episodes. They're really long, but they're lots of fun.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Like Eddie is currently the European champion. He's got China with him, and yeah, we've got Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn. This is some Radicals fallout.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Is China Yoko or something? Like, what happened?
Ugh.
Does anyone remember why the Radicals started splitting?
No, I believe Eddie is actually the face of the group here, and we've
Is
got
he?
Dean and Perry. Yeah, I can't tell when Eddie is supposed to be the face because he's just such a natural heel. But I mean, you saw stuff out of Saturn and Malenko that were teaming up, and you could say that's for the to get the championship, but I don't know. The way I read it was that Eddie is a good guy, Saturn Malenko is a bad guy, even though Eddie's got the history he does.
Who could resist China? I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. She'll overpower you if you try to resist.
This is a hell of a match. I mean, it would not be possible to put these guys in a match and have it be bad. Like it's not possible. That could really be the overall concept of a lot of the matches on this card is you can't put these guys in a match and have it be bad.
I don't know if he always wore these trunks, but I noticed Saturn's trunks were like his ECW. What the fuck was the tag team's name? Damn it, I can't remember the name now.
The Eliminators.
Yes, he was his attire looked like what they used to wear.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just
they might have been
silently like a well-oiled machine. Like at one point, Malenko took Eddie out of Perry Saturn's suplex and into his own. He was just like, well, I'll take him from here. And and they were on completely other sides of the ring before that. It's not like they coordinated something. They just know. And seeing these guys work together is just a treat anytime.
Yeah, so they had only debuted in January of this same year. So
yeah, it's very fresh from what
they came in as homies, and I think it became one of those things where they all started to feel like they were holding each other down.
Everybody knew Eddie and Redacted were better.
Fantastic match. Unfortunately, China is the deciding factor here because the bouquet of flowers that she has a big piece of rebar in it.
Oh, darn it!
Probably kill you if China hits you with that shit.
Yep. And Eddie uses it to
hell of a bump by Dean Malenko too.
For sure. Like, forget the talking. Like, they made up for it in the ring. Like Dean didn't need to be a good talker.
Well,
he sells the role perfectly.
Yeah, I agree.
The Iceman was fun to watch, but not fun to listen to. But he made the finish look good. China comes in with the interference, which further muddies the water. Who am I supposed to be cheering for? Eddie gets the
fun loving couple. That too.
Mamacita.
Yeah. And retain
cheering for the love, man.
For under 8 minutes, man, they did a lot. They really
did. They really did. It felt like a longer match than that. Damn.
For sure. But in a good way.
From there, we go to more hardcore title fun. This is when
he's in the bathroom.
They show how Briscoe got the title because he pinned Crash while he was asleep backstage in silence.
That's the finger poke of doom right there, guys. No.
But then, Briscoe in the bathroom, he panics and slips and splits his pants open
at his own reflection. He's sneaking through the bathroom. He sees himself in the mirror and freaks out.
It's always
most relatable scene of the whole night.
Yeah,
who hasn't done this at some point?
Yeah, exactly. Who hasn't seen their own reflection and fallen and split their pants in a public bathroom?
It's not,
you guys don't know. Maybe he hasn't looked in a mirror
me.
in a long time. He hasn't seen what he's looked like in 10 years.
The next match is Shane McMahon versus The Big Show. My goodness. Shane McMahon, crazy as ever.
Did anybody else? I don't remember that song from Big Show at all, but I fucking loved it.
No, that was great. Did he use that song aside from the show? Because that took me totally by surprise.
Was that
That was
an
Snoop Dogg
amazing
on the
song.
track?
It was. Well, and also was
Must
this
have been
the,
a CD released, and they were like, "All right, everybody use that song for a while."
also was this the first time that No Chance played? Because like when Shane came out, like they were saying like, oh, like they were reacting to the song like they hadn't heard it before.
I don't think so.
Okay.
feel
No,
like
I
it-
think
it was
Vince has
around
been
way
using it
before
for a
that.
while.
I thought
Not
so
way
too.
before, but
Yeah, I thought so too.
It
They
might be the
had
first time that Shane used it.
yeah, maybe. Okay. They had a funny promo leading up to this of Big Show just bouncing Shane off the bottom of the Titantron.
yes.
That was
Shit
some
looked brutal.
little brother, big brother shit if I've ever seen it. Just like bonk, shoulders and head off something way off the door frame. Yeah, that was good. This, you know, this
It does
is
not-
what you would
yeah.
think.
Does
I'm
not
not-
take
I
long for
wasn't real
someone to
sure.
help Shane.
Yeah, I was not real sure what the whole build up was for all of this, but I
Shane
mean,
was treating him like a big stupid monster.
yeah, that's true. And I mean,
He's
well,
not.
So Shane had been treating him. Shane had been treating him like it was kind of leading into a real life thing that was happening with the Big Show, where he's kind of getting a bit of an on-screen burial for not living up to his what they'd expected of him, like at the Backlash pay-per-view the month before. Which, fun fact, was the first time I ever actually saw the Big Show. He was doing an impersonation of Hulk Hogan, and then from there it kind of led into Shane making fun of him, calling him fat and useless and all this stuff. And Big Show almost cries at one point when Shane's ripping into him backstage. You see a little bit of it during the hype package for this. Like Shane says something to him, and then Big Show turns to the camera and gets this sad puppy dog
cried
look on
more
his
than anyone.
face.
That's rough.
you
like-
leave Paul.
Yeah, he
alone.
literally wasn't in a couple games because he was too fat for them, and like they just, as punishment, they didn't put him in No Mercy or one other game. That
God
came
damn.
out that
Speaking
same
of
year.
No Mercy, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why he got
No
sent to
fatties and
OVW
No
and shit
Mercy.
like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
But
It was a
goddamn
big thing
sad.
that happened a
she's
lot back then.
fine, right? You
Yeah,
got
I
a guy
think
whose
you're right.
gimmick is rubbing a big butt in your face, and he's fine, but not Big Show. Can't get a little chunky.
Hey,
This was also the time when Viscera was still on TV, and he was much bigger than Big Show, and they
Right,
weren't saying
and
anything to
Rikishi.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, Rikishi's at least stayed athletic, even at
Hey,
his
guys,
heaviest.
at
like,
the end of the
that
day,
Rikishi
how
gets-
long did Big Show last? So maybe they did him a favor.
That's
Didn't he
true.
just wrestle like a week ago?
Like I'm trying to figure out like why did this was the point that I feel like Jerry Lawler started referencing the Lion King, and then
Oh,
like
yeah.
Simba. Well, that's because Shane called himself Simba at one point, I believe, or something like that.
okay, because I was kind of like, oh well, maybe Lion King came out around that time, but like Lion King came out in like 1994,
Yeah,
so I don't
no.
know why.
It's like 6
In the
years
video
ago.
package, I believe Shane said something leading up to him calling himself Simba or something like that.
Okay,
I mean, it could just be WWE catching up to the times. They are normally late to the pop culture reference.
That's
Lion
right.
King 2 might have came out around
they're
this
like,
year.
yeah, hey, have you guys seen this brand new movie called The Lion King?
Mrs. Doubtfire, that's a good movie.
Yeah, and
guess what?
and sort of a throwback to last week, some TNA joined the fun into this
Yep.
match. Teston Albert show up.
really
to-
fast. Well, Big Boss Man shows up first.
I specifically
that's
wrote in
true.
my notes, TNA, you say, interesting.
Yeah. But what I thought
Jeff
was
Jarrett
that
was
of all
taking
the
notes.
run-ins that were impressive, Trish Stratus coming out there and just getting heave-hoed over the top rope,
Dude,
getting caught by Teston
Wow.
It
Albert.
was a
That
gnarly
was-
choke slam.
I said out loud that was a Rey Mysterio level Big Show bump.
he
like,
looked
just showing-
like. Go ahead.
Just showing that Trish Stratus was never just eye candy. Even in her
Yeah.
earliest days when
No,
she was
she was
green
a real
as
one,
shit,
sure.
she took a hell of a bump.
Yeah, and it looked to me like the hardest thing for Big Show was trying not to just throw her like into the fifth row, because I really think he could have. I think he could have thrown her a lot farther than he did. Like
He
that
did it
was crazy
effortlessly.
looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
It looked like somebody picking up a toy, like a
And
little
Test-
kid throwing a toy out of the stroller.
And Tess did a good job catching her without really looking like he was just there to catch her. He took a lot of the impact off of that, and he hit hard himself. But that was an overall. As far we've gotten so used to seeing, the crew of 8 guys out there huddled up, waiting to catch someone for a spot like that. This one was pretty quick and organic, and especially being Trish Stratus getting javelined out. That was noteworthy as hell.
Yeah, well, they brawl out because of that, and Bull Buchanan runs in, and then Shane tries to climb away, and then ends up like he pushes a big like amplifier that falls onto Big Show's
It's like
leg.
3,000 pounds, guys. Come on.
Ah, my
As-
leg!
As Big Show lays in like a swimming pool of cables, Shane comes out holding the fakest cinder block you'll ever see in your life.
Hey, he did some good miming for this. He
He
made
did
it look
piss
heavy.
poor. He came out like, oh, look, guys.
He
it's so
did it. He
heavy."
was like, "Whoa, whoa." You know, he did it. He
Have you ever
sold
picked up
the
a
shit
cinder
out of it.
block?
I've picked up a cinder
Shane
block.
hasn't.
Because that's how you would do it. Like, yeah, you definitely
both
wouldn't.
hands, and you got to barely just duck waddle. Those things are at least
Yeah.
250 pounds.
You got to cradle
just gotta-
cinder blocks like a baby.
He baby walked that thing
Now,
over there safely until he
there-
could smack it on his head.
Fair play to him. The spot looked great. The cinder block itself broke, and it
Yeah.
looked real.
Very
it looked
realistic,
very real.
yeah.
But
The
way
only
Shane
downside-
carried it. Go ahead.
The only downside to the cinder block breaking like that was a little bit earlier. I think it was Bull Buchanan had picked up another cinder block, and Big Show just knocked him over, and the cinder block fell apart like sugar glass.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even
I didn't
see
notice
that. Nice.
You know, Vince McMahon was back saying, "Damn it, Bill, son of a
It
bitch."
probably was like, you know how much rock candy cinder blocks cost?
$24 cinder
Right,
block you
censor
just
now.
wasted, Buchanan. That's great. Yeah, I think you have to be careful with the gimmicked stuff like that, though. I've always heard from wrestling interviews like a gimmicked prop can be more dangerous because you're trusting the gimmick to
Oh, for sure.
to work successfully instead of taking the responsibility yourself. And yeah, you might smang a guy in the head with that cinder block, and it kills him.
Definitely. And Big Show sold it really well too. And Shane
He
gets the
died-
pin.
He died appropriately.
He died of a cinder block to the head. Yeah.
Yeah. We never saw that guy again.
Nope. That was it for Big Show. R.I.P. in peace.
Looks like here he was favoring his knee throughout the thing, and he was written off TV for a while to get that taken care of anyway. So that was a planned angle for the knee injury.
Okay. Well, good for him.
But
But yeah, that we get.
That,
Go ahead.
okay, so after that we get Briscoe again backstage.
Golden
Trying to just
Yep.
he's trying for some reason hardcore champions, because they're running so much, they always need to just sleep anywhere they can backstage. So Briscoe's
I like
goes and finds the refs.
Yeah, he's gonna have a quick rest with the refs, and he
Yeah.
instantly falls asleep as soon as he sits down.
He's
I like
old.
they say, okay, yeah, come on, Mr. Briscoe, sit down. Yeah, Mr. Rick must be tough being the hardcore champ.
Oh yes, sir. Let me wipe this down for you. Have a seat right here. Yeah, they really went over the top, making
Give him your
it-
fucking chair, Tom. There's one right there.
Which
Yeah.
nothing leads to a good quick cat nap than walking into a room of two guys you don't know that well and sitting in a chair right between
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, two guys who were just chilling out in a completely empty room with nothing else
Yeah.
in it.
In darkness.
Right next to each other.
What were
And just
those refs
before he
doing?
goes
Why did we
in-
not have more
Definitely
players?
not.
They
Yeah.
they were just chilling.
Definitely not like doing a Flying Dutchman. So, but almost immediately, like they start colluding and making plans to get the belt away from him, and his rest will not yet be found. So and
No
off again
repose.
he goes. Yep, no rest for the hardcore champ.
No. Next up, we get.
This is the point where we see, I think, Triple H telling Shawn Michaels
yes,
not
yes,
to
yes.
wear the shorts.
Yeah,
telling
this
him-
was a
He looks like
A
he's
very
smuggling
erotic.
bananas.
promo here where they're set facing each other in two folding chairs, tight staging of these chairs for the shot, and Shawn Michaels' wide open legs, Triple H playfully placed between them in his chair, and it's I feel like the dialogue could have taken a turn had we lingered on this shot for longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely calls attention to those tight shorts.
One screenshot and the application of a Brazzers logo.
Boy, that could be a whole different. I think you just figured out our cover for this episode. Tyler, thank you so much.
the judge, speaking of judgments, did it move?
It moved, Jerry. It moved. But yeah. What do we? Yeah, that was basically the point of their little interaction. Is
that
from there he says, "Yeah, you're smuggling bananas in those shorts." Shawn Michaels looks shocked, black screen, and now we're on to our Intercontinental Championship match.
That's right. Skylar, who do we have here? Oh, Skylar just left the call.
Speaking of,
Skylar just left the call because
and I feel like
Chris
Benoit. You bastard! I hate you. Oh, I knew it. I was wondering what he was gonna do. What was he gonna do for rejection?
Skylar has left the call as a result of not being willing to acknowledge the existence of Chris Benoit.
Skylar in protest,
Yep.
in silent protest.
Away he's gone.
What's funny is I don't know how to get him back. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I found it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's the kind, stand up for what you believe.
He's not answering yet, bastard.
No, he's gonna send us a picture where he's just like out in a canoe somewhere.
If he makes a, no, I'm not gonna make jokes.
You fucking talk about him.
Did you just focus on the family meat? You just bailed out on content reasons?
Yeah.
Were you even
right.
saying the match? We didn't even catch that. I thought.
I did. I started saying the match, and when I got no reaction for saying redacted, I looked up, and everyone's faces was frozen. Like, and I was like, I got fucking kicked off the internet, didn't I?
I thought you intentionally dropped out of the call because, well, that's the way we're gonna treat it. We're gonna treat it like you dropped out of the call because you. Yeah.
Perfect time to figure it out.
So yeah, you can kind of pick it back up like you're begrudgingly having to tell us what the match is.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
When I got it sitting here, I'm looking at it. It's still recording, so good.
Okay, Skylar. If you've made your moral stand now, if you please come down from the milk crate and introduce the next match, we'd all really appreciate it.
All right, the next match is Y2J. Everybody loves Y2J Chris Jericho versus piece of shit Chris Benoit. Stupid piece of shit Chris Benoit.
Took it too real, Skylar. Took it too real. We've got one of the best against the best.
Also, can I point out real fast again? I noticed in the crowd there was a Huey Lewis sign, and it was because American Psycho came out that year, and he loves Huey Lewis. I noticed it in this match. A little more weirder now because of that.
Oh wow,
that's a very strange.
He might have just been a huge fan of Huey Lewis and the News. I mean, they did hit their peak around '83, both commercially and artistically.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like it. All things aside for obviously the Chris Benoit history, this is a meeting of two of the best.
Yeah,
and Chris Jericho was only in the company for about a year, but he's anything but a newcomer, for this history in WCW in Japan. The same with Chris Benoit. They sort of had the same resume up to that point. And holy shit, I was so happy to see at this point in time that Chris Benoit was holding the belt, especially for someone who had come in from WCW.
Yeah, and this is explicitly a submission match that he is going to have between Chris Jericho and Benoit.
And usually I'm sort of bummed to see a submission match because when you limit yourself for outcomes, you're shackling your possibilities as far as building to a finish and exciting things that can happen. But oh my God, a submission match was made for these two. Both of them have some of the most fun transitions into their finishing submissions, and they're just technical experts and more agile than they look. Both Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho with that young he wasn't doing Conspiracy yet. I think that was a couple years removed. He was still in like the basically lion tamer variant.
Yeah, he looked like Lionheart.
And Chris Benoit hadn't gotten his final form music, which I loved so much. It was sort of a toned down version of the theme music, but he was jacked. He was
So jacked.
muscly Wolverine.
It's those shoulder muscles that just make you like swallow up his neck and just make him look scarier. I mean, you could be like have big biceps. They all got biceps and stuff, but it's like those the deltoids or whatever those muscles. I don't even know what muscles are called.
Yeah,
That's how
his
few of them I
shoulder
have.
his shoulders look like launch ramps. It's just not fair for anybody involved. And Jericho was the face here, and Benoit was the baddie with that stern face coming down the ramp. And man, Chris Jericho came out angry at first, like the momentum and the speed. But what I noticed right off the top was Chris Benoit pulling Jericho into a tombstone piledriver position, which was then reversed and then reversed again. And I was thinking, well, we've got Undertaker on the cover of this pay-per-view. We got a guy in a tombstone piledriver position, but he just works it right into a shoulder breaker. Further
back and
weakening
forth.
the
That
arm.
shoulder breaker was crazy
Prospects.
looking too.
Yeah, he was careful. But it looked like it hurt like hell for sure.
Yeah, several. There's some really good moves that in this match, and just again, two guys that could not have a bad match.
And yeah, if I could put on my Mark hat real quick for the psychology here in this match, they're both they're both working on their respective target limbs. But Benoit keeps going back to the arm, and Jericho keeps going back to the injured, quote unquote, injured knee of Benoit, who is wearing a knee brace that comes into play later in the match.
Yeah, and he gets a knee breaker onto the steps outside that is gnarly as hell. That was what stood out.
Dude,
to me.
those look so nasty.
Ugh.
Even like best case scenario, a knee breaker hurts me.
Some
I
of
got
those are
fucked up
rough.
meniscus, man. I can't be doing that.
Eventually, the knee brace comes off, and Jericho's wailing on him with it.
Yeah, shades of the Hogan weight belt kind of controversial point people like to make. Is how is that not a disqualification when you pull something off and just without the head and shoulders?
True.
No DQ in a submissions match.
But
that's true. That's true.
Also very true.
Very, very true.
Could've
But
just been
even in a
each
regular
other
match, we
choice.
see. Damn it, Brian! I thought I made a point.
This was such a good match.
Stickler for
that,
the
like,
rules.
Just call me Cornette.
But I mean, yeah, this was the match of the night for me. I could watch these guys trade maneuvers all night. Even the chop fest they had was great. And Chris Benoit's little T-Rex arms chops, man, for as short as they are, they get some velocity.
Yeah,
and they sing.
I felt like I was watching Hollywood versus T.O. all over again. Those short little flipper chops.
The wrong Chris one.
Oh no, I loved it. It made everybody look good. We got down to just trading walls and cross faces, and finally Benoit gets one on that Chris couldn't escape from. And I think honestly he had it a little bit too low. He wasn't across Chris Jericho's face, and the story was that Chris Jericho's gonna pass out from it instead of tapping out. But Chris Benoit's arms were locked across Jericho's throat. I don't think he could breathe, and I think he was trying to communicate that with the close up going on. He was like, "I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. You let me go."
You stupid idiot.
But yeah, we got Benoit who's doing that rabid shit. He's still holding on to the to the submission after the bell. I think Jericho's life flashed before his eyes.
Yeah.
This son of a bitch. God.
Yep. From there, we go back again to the further misadventures of Gerald Briscoe.
Oh my God, this is probably my favorite one.
Gerald.
We get to see him. This is a clip from earlier in the evening on Heat when he's carrying a big tray full of cups of coffee.
Damn it.
And he gets jumped by the headbangers, which is funny because they beat the crap out of him. He's got coffee all over him. They've got him like underneath a roll-up door, and they have a referee there. Like, why didn't they pin him? I don't understand.
Who got to pin him?
What they
only wanted blood.
Don't you stand up for them, Skylar? Don't you try to make excuses for?
Sorry, you're right.
Go ahead.
Was it after that where he's talking to Cole backstage?
Babyface Cole.
The guys, just the random guys with the sodas and the popcorn.
It's the vendors, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a scene from like a Disney show or something. Like while he's talking to Michael Cole, the guys are back in the back and they're like pointing at him and kind of pointing at the belt and pointing at the ref. And like finally Briscoe turns around and sees it and delivers like, oh my God, this like straight-legged old man kick to kick this tray full of drinks up into the one guy's face, and I like laughed out loud at that.
Yes,
like it was amazing. It turned a whole tray full of popcorn over on the guys as they like slip and fall trying to get back up. This is great. I loved it.
Should have had there was like, something for Tyler on this.
Yes, this is right up my goddamn alley.
And then after that we got The Rock laying down the law to HBK, telling him he better fucking call it down the middle. And HBK, you can tell he's not liking being talked to this way.
Well, and inside of kayfabe, like as The Rock, why would you that seems like that's so stacked against you? Like, oh, your fucking boy is gonna be the ref? Like, shit.
Like, and why would you threaten the ref in any way before the match? Like, I'd be like, hello, sir.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad form. Like for the oh. Here's what you better not pick your friend over me, your enemy.
Yeah.
Every time that The Rock is on TV with Shawn Michaels, I just lament the fact that we never actually got to see them wrestle each other.
Yeah.
And like, especially with the tension that they're building up here, and then when Michaels comes back a couple of years later and he super kicks Rock, it's like, how the hell did you never manage to pull this off?
That's insane.
Yeah. Apparently The Rock doesn't like him from random shit you read.
He held a grudge from early in his career.
Yeah, I think
Shawn Michaels doesn't like to lose in that part of his career, so the two wouldn't get along.
Speaking of, there was a great moment at some point during the show, I don't know when it was, Shawn Michaels was being interviewed and he's like, don't worry, tonight I am going to do the job, and then just stares directly down the camera. Anyone else see this?
It must have been, it was early in the night because he did get interviewed by Cole.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was during that. He was like, don't worry, tonight I'm gonna call it straight down the middle. I'm gonna do the job exactly as I was told to, and then just stares at the camera for what feels like forever.
It was before Eddie and China showed up.
Yes.
After that we've got a tables match between the Dudleys and DX. Which is Road Dogg and X-Pac with Tori.
Yeah, this would be DX Light.
Whew, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, man. This is probably the low point of the night for me. Even though I like all the ingredients, I didn't like the cake. It was just, I don't know. It was
right.
Sitting next to the rest of the show, it just doesn't really add up completely, but it was another one of those something for everybody decisions on the card, I'm sure.
It was a good match. My favorite part of it was the fact that we had Teddy Long out there refereeing a tag team match, player.
That's true.
Nice.
Don't mess around. You'll see the Undertaker later, player.
Also, the rules were very confusing because it wasn't like an elimination. You could like put the guy through the table, but then he didn't have to leave. He could still put you through the table.
They both had to go through the table. Both members of the team had to go through that table to win.
Yeah, but I just thought it was kind of like, I don't know. It was just weird to have. If you went through a table, usually it'd be like, all right, you're out. Now go backstage. But I guess it'd be an elimination.
Picking them up on the rules here.
Stickler.
You can't hold an early 2000s referee to accountable.
Yeah. I like that the Dudleys come in so fast that Finkel just has to like stop introducing them to like scamper out of the ring.
Get out of there, Fink.
Oh, Fink.
The crowd is fairly indifferent to DX. Like,
I
think
it's
the thrill is gone. Yeah, DX really has.
I thought they were broken up by now.
They got a couple of months left. It's SummerSlam of this year in August, I think, is when Road Dogg and X-Pac finally turn on each other, and I think that's about it. It's kind of like the McMahon Helmsley faction that it was leading up to it. Like it was a bad time for DX. Like they couldn't even get Kane in there.
Think of an example of a band where like guys leaving, but they're still trying to hold on. There's so many, but anyways,
Van Halen.
There was a great point where JR goes, "These guys hate tables." It made me think of Steve Martin in The Jerk. Like, he hates the tables.
I guess. I mean, one could make that argument for the Dudley Boys over their career. They did end a lot of tables service.
They do seem like, yeah, I feel like it's like we could slam you, but we also want to destroy some property. Like, that is a very ECW mentality. It's like, I could just hit you, but also I could break something while I'm doing it, and like, that's better for everybody. DX at one point just decides to leave during the match. They just turn and walk away and are almost like caught unawares when Bubba and Devon start beating the shit out of them.
They do that. Like, bad guys just like, you know what? I'm done with this. And they turn around and they leave, and then they're surprised when they get hit with a forearm on the back of the head. Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Just once.
Left?
Just once, I want a babyface to let them leave. Just once. That's all I ask.
Just watch them walk away. Okay, well, you know, we're
Just
trying
let
to
them
do
go.
it.
It
Sorry,
really
guys.
only works if you're holding a belt, you know. So
Yeah, true.
the count out, you keep the belt, so the babyface has to bring you back. But yeah, everything else, they should just let them go. Like, all right, I'm still getting paid.
You could build a whole month of promos around the babyface making fun of the heel, being like, "You left. We tried to do this."
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I feel like those promos write themselves at that point. That's like rage quitting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Devon goes through a table. X-Pac goes through a table. Then Bubba and Road Dogg both get mad. Like, the ref keeps telling them something, and like just Bubba and Road Dogg grab either side of the ref and just suplex him through the table.
Yeah.
A great bump for the
It
ref.
was hilarious, yeah, for sure. Like, that was hilarious. Like, why?
Yeah, that was Baby Kyoto. Went
shit.
straight through the table.
Telling them what to do in the table match.
But yeah,
And everything goes to shit at that point.
By that you mean somebody hit the send in the Briscoe button, because here comes Gerald Briscoe, the hardcore champion.
That's right. He's coming to straighten all this shit out.
Yeah, he sees Tori about to go through a table by Bubba.
Huge pop, by the way, for the idea that Tori was about to get power bombed through a table. When Briscoe gets her down and saves her, the crowd boos him like crazy. Like that, they wanted to see her go through that fucking table.
It is a weird facet of the early 2000s. I've yet to figure out how to explain to my very feminist fiance that the Dudley Boys got over by putting women and Mae Young through tables.
Yes,
because it was so cool. Every week they put a different woman through.
This was the time that Bubba would just zone out and like go into that kind of fugue state where, he was just unstoppable.
Bubba goes to a place
and would focus his ire upon women. Yeah, sure. Seriously. And JR quips that Tori's gonna get some serious wood tonight.
Oh God, JR at 2 JR.
You're not the king. You're not the king, JR.
JR's been too long looking at Shawn Michaels' banana.
Yeah,
distracted the show went on.
The interference from the hardcore champion allowed X-Pac to jump up in place and grab Bubba, which for a very impressive jump and spacing issue that an X factor off the top rope caused. You got to jump up and then jump backwards and not hit the table yourself.
And clears the table.
Yeah, clears the table perfectly, puts Bubba through the table, and by that point, Mike Chioda is rousted awake, and he sees that Bubba's been put through a table. DX wins.
That's right. Briscoe has woken him up enough to see that he go through the table, so that's it. DX wins. But the crowd must be satisfied. They wanted to see someone get sacrificed, and somebody needs to get sacrificed. So it ends up being like Briscoe takes a 3D through the table.
Hell yeah, man! Briscoe's a company man.
One of them could have walked out champ.
Yeah, they don't even care about it. No one wants the belt except the headbangers.
That belt is stressful. I don't blame the Dudleys for not wanting it.
Yeah, I think
going on.
Yeah, this wasn't too long after the 24/7 had been enacted by Crash, so it definitely was a fairly new gimmick conceptually. But I believe that takes us to the main event, boys.
Well, first, we get a video package of creepy girls in a boiler room.
Oh yeah, creepy girls in a boiler room. How could I forget?
Yep.
So,
Yep. It's only hinting to the biggest part of the night.
Yeah, so that
Scully, do you want to
before
lay this
that-
out? The
Yeah, go ahead.
mashup?
Lay it out.
Well, just what
Oh.
are we going into here?
Oh, we're going into our main event, the 60-man minute Iron Man match for the WWF title. It's going to be Triple H versus The Rock, special guest referee, Banana Stuffer HBK.
Banana Boy himself is going to be the cat. And I don't know, did you guys at any point see this motion right here? I'm making a vertical motion, riding right down the middle. You know, a good special guest referee advertises that in the ring. He's shaking his head right down the middle, hand going down right down the middle. But I didn't see that on a Shawn Michaels. I can't. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. So immediately,
if he
I was
did, his arm
expecting-
definitely squeezed down a little bit.
Yeah,
as he
it definitely
was
kind of
going
skewed right for sure.
down. Yeah.
So I was expecting fuckery out off the top, but he did a pretty good job. As far I'm jumping into the.
I liked Triple H's music back then.
You want some? It's on.
But I
just realized we missed the opportunity to have Skylar do the Dudley's music, and that's always the funnest thing about having the Dudley boys on.
Sorry. Before the match starts, though, we get Triple H sending all of the McMahons back because he wants to do this on his own with his buddy as a special guest referee.
And this is with his bro in the ring. And this is one of the things I like about wrestling, because when he does send the McMahons back to the back, his theme music plays again. Which is just like, I love the fucking pageantry of that. Like, as you are leaving, my song will escort you out of the vicinity. Thank you.
Fuck out of here.
He's still Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That you can take all those words. You can't take.
Yeah, we need more of that. We need more people getting played out. How about that rock? How about that pop for the Rock though?
Oh yeah,
it was electric.
Yeah. I feel like, to me, it would be really intimidating to know going into a match that it was going to be a 60-minute match, and like you're going to have to wrestle for 60 minutes straight. Like, that seems very taxing. Like,
it's not a time limit. That's how long the damn thing's going to be, and you got to make it to specific points. I imagine they have little chapter marks in their head for what's going on. But man, how stressful to keep track of.
Is this not the match that you can find footage of, like, them doing the whole thing, like, in an empty arena? Like, it's one of the things, like, release clips of them,
potentially. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Working it out. Yeah, I think so. I think that is it. But
I
remember that as the match started.
Any good wrestling match that is laying out anything starts off with a solid stiff collar and elbow tie-up.
Ooh, man. Even called out by commentary. Maybe one of the stiffest collar and elbow tie-ups you'll ever see. Yeah.
Triple H is definitely tired of being in their shadows.
I love that type of start to a match. The tests of strength. And when we got something close with a wrist block battle that bent the Rock all the way over till the weight is bearing on his neck against his head against the mat, and then just powered all the way back up.
Powered all the way back up. That shit was awesome. Like,
nearly supine. Yeah, that was super cool.
I don't know if Triple H gets enough respect for being as good of a wrestler as he is. I know there's a lot of politics that surround him and stuff, but like, I think he has one of, if not the best working punches in the business.
Oh, for sure.
And everything he does, he sells to a T. Yeah. I mean, the bumps he takes into the steps are just it's amazing. Like Triple H. I mean, these are two of the best to ever do it.
It's a man you idolize.
Also, best spinebuster in modern wrestling too.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one that's not called. I mean, Arn Anderson gets the spinebuster award often enough. Triple H, man. Yeah. And during Evolution's run, you got Batista and Triple H just thundering spinebusters through like a Royal Rumble or something. It's loud as hell.
Beautiful stuff.
Definitely. I mean, this is how you put on a wrestling match of this this kind of length, you gotta have two guys like this.
This isn't even peak Triple H, guys. How scary is that, huh? People who hate him.
This was his premier year, though. Like, this was the year of Triple H when he finally he took up the mantle of having to cover for the fact that Austin was gone for most of the year. So it was just him and Rock, and then later
where
Kurt
was
Angle.
Austin?
He had been hit by a car tragically the previous year and was on a long hiatus as a result. Like, he popped up at Backlash 2000 for a rip-roaring pop.
Oh, is this
And,
where they wrote him up? Okay.
Yeah, it was leading up to the big heel turn of Rikishi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this
was
is
he just hurt in real life, or was he just dealing with shit?
His neck was fucked.
Okay, of course, the neck.
This was the formation of the game. This is where the manual is being written for the game that will be played for the next 20 years.
Love it. Love Triple H.
JR calls us sleeper hold a figure four at one point. That made me laugh, and we get a great figure four from King.
Did you guys like how instead of when they got out of the ring a shit ton in that match, but instead of counting them out at all, HBK just followed them around the entire time.
Right.
Come on, come on, guys.
I
get
thought
in the
about
ring,
that too.
hurting them back.
Until it was a plot device.
But in an Iron Man match, a double count out is just null and void. It just adds a point to each side. So it's kind of no point unless there's one participant on the inside and out.
He does address it, though. He addressed it 30 minutes into the match of following The Rock and Triple H around the ring. He goes up to the announcers like, "We're not doing countouts here." And JR then says it's like 30 minutes in, the referees decided that there will be no countouts now.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's then later on.
That's the power of the ref, apparently.
Well, there you go. Power of the
counted
ref.
someone out, though.
He flip-flopped back and forth a little bit on the decision.
Yeah.
So we get the
That's
first
the only
pinfall.
thing that's flip-flopping.
We get the first pinfall.
I don't know. It looks pretty.
Just over 10 minutes in from a rock bottom. And it kind of caught me off guard, just the quickness of it. I don't know. It was at that point in his career, was he finishing a lot with the rock bottom? It seemed like that was always a setup for an elbow.
Well, in an Iron Man match, you're going to get a pinfall from a signature. Or something.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, anytime you hit a signature.
He's only got two elbow pads for the Rock for the people's elbow. Come on.
That's true. He can only use one.
He's like, I can't bust it now. Damn.
So yeah, I mean, I like how they staggered and sort of sped up in some ways as far as the fall counts go in an Iron Man match, because that's the big question. How are you going to go tit for tat, because that's kind of predictable, or are you going to have one sort of lopsided for the duration of the match and then have yourself a comeback, or what? And that's sort of the direction they took in. Triple H gets that pedigree, which was very protected at the time. I mean, we're busting people open when we hit a pedigree in 2000.
Yeah. Goes up one, or gets his pin. Yep. Yeah,
it goes up one. It's evened up 1-1, and then pretty quickly, after less than a couple minutes, catches a quick inside cradle to make it 2-1 Triple H The Rock. And then you're like, oh man, this might happen. That's when the crowd starts getting really into it.
Yeah.
Did you guys see how he got his third fall? Because I did not, and I didn't want to rewind it, so I just
pile driver.
It was a pile driver.
Oh man, I missed a fucking pile driver, man.
Jerry the King Lawler popped up for that one. He liked it. He likes seeing somebody get a win
Did
off.
They point at him and like,
that's for you, baby. It's for you, baby.
And that's a good, they hit their moves to begin with. And then Triple H gets a cradle, and then they trade back and forth with kind of old school moves, like H gets the pile driver, and then Rock turns around and gets a pinfall with a DDT.
Yeah,
those are some old school moves there. They're kind of maybe working their way through a little bit.
DDT is one of those baseline. Was one of those baseline moves that makes sense to sneak a win out of, though.
Yeah,
I mean, a DDT done right can spike you.
DDT,
for real,
the Rock's DDT is awesome too.
For real, in theory, a DDT should fucking kill you.
Yeah,
like if you really had enough of somebody's head and just fell as hard as you could down, like that should be death. Like a pile driver should be death. That isn't something
Tommaso
where it's
Ciampa has a great
dead.
DDT.
Just I understand why they wouldn't want people to do those, just because that is just one that a lot of risk there. Putting it all in the head, like that's just seems crazy.
It took their prized ponies years off their prized pony. So
Yeah.
Well,
And,
speaking of
think-
taking years off,
Exactly. I think I don't know who it was that said that about the 40-minute mark or so, about 20 minutes left is when it really starts to ramp up. Skyler could call Skyler because this is about when we really start seeing a little bit of gray area with Shawn Michaels. He calls the disqualification on Triple H for bringing in a chair and swamping Rock in the head just under 45 minutes in.
And
that
busts
evens it up.
tying it up.
Busts open the back of Rocky's head too. At first I thought he had bladed like way up above his hairline, but like later on you can see he's got like a pretty good blood stain on the back of his head. Like I don't think that was a blade job.
Yeah,
Or
I
if
think
it was
he
a
tucked
good
his
one.
chin. I think he tucked his chin, and the lip of the chair might have caught him a little bit deeper on the back of the head. It was an ugly one.
Yeah. So he like, let's say Triple H gets DQ'd, but immediately like gets a pin with his feet up on the ropes, and then he and Shawn kind of get into it, and some shoving and stuff goes back and forth.
Well,
The crowd's loving that.
That happens after Triple H puts the Rock in a headlock and he passes out. And
Oh,
then,
that's right.
Triple
That's
H
right.
won't let go, and then
Yeah, that's
Shawn's all
right.
like grabbing him by the hair and shit.
Yeah. And
Here-
this is
here's-
where you're starting to do the math. You're like, oh shit, we've got a little over 10 minutes left. Rock is up
Trips is
5, or
up
Triple H is up
5-3,
5-3. And how are they gonna do this? Like, surely he's not gonna lose the belt. No way, not so soon.
If I can drop a timestamp on here while The Rock is in that sleeper hold, 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 30 seconds, we get an extremely unnecessary shot of HBK's grundle as he's squatted down checking. It was way too much to be seen, and I had to back it up to see the time, and then I had to back it up several more times for personal reasons.
Yeah, talk about seeing your gray area. That thing was close enough you could smell it at that point.
That's it.
Smell it.
That is it.
When skin starts getting darker, that's when you know you need to wear more.
that was
I'm working on a theory that they were re-releasing the Playgirl issue that he was in at that point. They're like, let's give him a nice money shot here so we can bump the sales.
There you go.
Sell some magazines, man.
That's another potential cover for the episode.
Yeah, just paint shots.
Yeah,
Paint shot Sundays.
Yeah, you could put the T right down the middle.
Just Gooch City.
So,
Yeah. At one point, Triple H gets flipped out and kicks the shit out of a cameraman as he goes over the ropes. That was pretty crazy.
I love a
those
top
moments.
rope. I love it, man. And Shawn Michaels is one of the masters of that
The
over
best of it,
enthusiastic
yeah.
top rope.
Yeah.
Irish whip off the top. Up and
Turnbuckle
over.
into the turnbuckle so hard you like flip out over the other side of it.
Yeah. He took out a cameraman. I think he was mortally wounded. Apparently,
I think is that when Triple H is looking to get Rock in the rock bottom on the announce table, but the Rock reverses it into a pedigree.
Yet
That
another
absolutely does little to the table.
Further
I am
proof.
the table moment.
Further proof for the shoot show theory of he who sets it gets it. This is what happens time after time.
It's the norm and not the exception. That's for sure.
So, and then after that, The Rock gets back in the ring, and fast count from HBK. Anyone else think
Fastest
fast
count
count?
in history.
I
They
feel
were
like he went to
realizing they
10.
had
I thought they were
4
supposed to go
minutes.
to 20.
No, they
I always thought it was
realized
10.
they had
No, it's
4
always
minutes
10.
left
Okay.
to not only get that fall in,
Always.
but also get that next fall and have the Undertaker. It's like, what are we
Yeah.
gonna do?
Yeah,
We
Taker's
gotta
out there
speed up.
back there with the motorcycle. Like, what the hell are we doing here?
He's like, come on.
Triple H blades pretty heavily here. Like when he pops back up, he's bloody as hell. We cut away because the McMahons return back to ringside.
My
After
God.
seeing Triple H take that pedigree.
Vince Mc-
also-
it was.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it was at this point, like watching Vince walk and his mannerisms. he must have been a huge fan of silent film stars because he just walks like the classic comedians, like fucking just all over the place, and his motions.
Quads are so muscular he can't walk any other way. He's a monster.
He's emoting to the person in the very back of the stadium, man. He's gonna make sure that you know. Also, at this point is I think when they point out that The Rock is only 28 years old here, which blows my mind because he looks more of a man there than I ever will cumulatively.
I mean, you've all seen his high school yearbook photo. Dude looks like an
People thought he was.
He was like 19 when he was born. What's up with that, man?
He looks
I feel like
then.
Yeah. He came out with a mustache. Like, it's insane. Like, they did, like, 28. It blows my mind. Like, so then we get a people's elbow for a pin to tie it up with 2 minutes left, and now shit's starting to get real serious.
If it's going crazy.
Yeah, if it started going crazy after 20 minutes, it goes fucking Chernobyl here in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, because as commentary reminds us, a tie goes to the champion. Yep. It's not going to go into extra innings or anything. So Rock's just got to survive at this point.
Yep. So we got the McMahons out there. DX is getting into the ring. Triple H is fighting. HBK's fighting the McMahons. People are throwing shit into the ring.
Pandemonium.
It is absolute pandemonium. But then we hear
he's here.
A motorcycle revving.
Oh God.
And again, they cut back. They cut back to that same video package of the little girls stuff. And like,
I didn't
man,
care. My heart was pounding. I was like, baby boy, is he?
I feel like with very little fanfare, they cut to Taker like halfway down the ramp on the motorcycle. I don't know if maybe like he was going too fast or something, but he
was going really fucking fast.
By the time
they were short on time, guys. I'm guaranteeing they're at least 2 minutes.
Go.
Yeah. But yeah, biker Taker. Like, Taker shows up looking like he is absolutely ready to take zero shit from anybody.
And he has been somebody has taken the body thickness slider and bumped it up at least 75%. Dude is jacked, man. He looks thick boy. And when he gets off of that motorcycle, the steps to the ring are in disarray. He takes one monster step onto one, another monster step onto the other, and with another he is inside of the ring like a damn monster. And that to me was one of the most impressive parts about it. And he just starts clinging
waste.
Beach balls are flying in the crowd. Like trash is flying into the ring. Boots are flying. Like,
there's a magic moment.
30 seconds to go.
Yes, there's a magic moment in a moment like this, a run-in, when the crowd is exploding in motion and sound. Everybody in the ring is moving. Bodies are falling, and it's like it all comes into your brain at the same time, and it's just a flurry of activity, and it still activates me like a freaking 5-year-old, just like exploding. Yes! I just want to scream every time.
And popping that even more. And popping that even more for this match, you had the little countdown clock come up again, and it is just firing its way towards zero. The adrenaline is popping like hell.
My heart starts speeding up. I was like, I know what happens. Why am I so excited right now? But that just goes to show how well this was pulled off, and all leads, even the boring parts of this match, was all for a reason. It led into that exhaustion and that crescendo, and I just loved every second of it.
Definitely, and. You know, in that moment, Taker gets Triple H into a choke slam, and then gets him into position for a tombstone as HBK kind of gets back up to see it.
Down the middle.
And
right down the middle.
Don't you do it? You better don't you pile drive that guy.
What does Taker do when you tell him to do something?
He's gonna do it.
He's a bad boy.
It happens, and as the buzzer goes, as the buzzer sounds. We see HBK calling for the bell.
Yeah. They conveniently
everybody thought The Rock won.
Yeah.
Yeah, they conveniently removed the countdown clock from the screen because they had gone over the mark. Yes. So it sort of spoiled the finish in a way.
Even that.
I heard the thing go off.
Everybody knew that it should have been The Rock winning. And calling for the DQ right as
Triple H goes and confirms with the Fink. who says that due to a disqualification at 59 minutes and 59 seconds of this match, due to the interference of The Undertaker, Triple H picks up the victory, picks up the pin and the victory. So, you know, just like that, The Undertaker has cost The Rock this match. And The Undertaker from outside looks on in just as much shock as everybody in the crowd. Like, he's just as surprised as anybody else.
The
Like,
fuck?
all I did was pile drive him. Fuck, dude. Like,
I hit everybody else. What the fuck?
you ain't gonna do shit. Like, I just imagine
Here, boy, you better get the fuck away from me.
some boys thrown around. You know that.
Yeah.
Good show, though.
That all
Good
culminated
show.
into what I think was the money shot of the entire main event was Triple H walking back up the ramp with
Trash
DX
being
cradling him. Vince McMahon under one arm, bleeding from an eyebrow, laughing like a Scooby-Doo villain. Just
Of course, of
Like
course,
Mojo
Vince
Jojo.
blades too. Like, Vince, like, I'm gonna go out there, I'll blade too. Fuck it, yeah, give me that blade.
Vince,
Wow,
they're not
look at
even
me.
gonna hit you.
Yeah, somebody hit me.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
But man, I mean, honestly, it's
Yes, good
and
shit.
what a unsurprised, or I mean, unexpected ending to the main event. A great booking of all the falls throughout the Iron Man match, I feel like, and overall a solid show. Every match was good.
Yeah,
Like,
solid, definitely solid. Like, this is the palate cleanse to the TNA pay-per-view.
Being a
there was
tag team of
Nobody
dicks.
dressed like a penis. No
We
multiple
got a real penis because it's
appearances of
WWE.
Elvis. Yeah, just the outline.
yeah, just we got close. Man, so yeah, on the whole, I'm gonna say this goes in the Shoot Show Hall of Fame as far as solid events as
was a
a,
really
as a
good show.
unit. A one of the better events that we've covered. What do you think, Brian?
I think it's a great show. Great show for my favorite year of WWE by far.
Wow,
Ooh,
that's high praise.
that is some high praise, especially in such a period of flux in the year 2000. And luckily, that sort of plays into the next direction for the Shoot Show. What I
we
sort of
got
had in mind.
We got a
you know.
possum choice here.
We do have some choice. It's finally come back around to me, and you know, with the year 2000 being so damn good to us this week, let's keep her there, boys. But let's go to what was left that
Fucking
summer
God.
over in Turnerland. We're going
Nice.
to
No.
Bash at the
Nice.
Beach 2000. And oh man, we saw what Jeff Jarrett did to one promotion a little bit further in time. Let's see what he was doing to one that was already in the
This
death
has got
rattle.
NWO 2000,
Oh
doesn't it?
man,
Oh god, this has got NWO 2000.
Oh, boys, it's going to be a good time, a good trip to the beach, and I think we'll all enjoy it.
May God have mercy on your souls.
Hey, Brian, don't talk to it. Hey, if you're free, we always got a beach pal for you.
this is true. This is true. We know all your Skype names now. We can just blow you up until you agree.
Sad thing is, you actually don't have all my Skype names. I've got like 12.
Oh my God.
Well, this one is Glenn Bryan 6, so I think I might be able to guess at least 5 more of them.
You can
died
try.
when, Brian. Oh my God! Now
It's gonna get edited.
all of
Yeah,
our
you can bleep that out. I don't want to. I don't want
I
all
want
of our
all
listener.
Benoit's bleeped out too.
Yeah.
Hey,
God
man,
forbid all of our listener start
some
start
guys
bothering
listen
you.
in the Netherlands. We're still big in the Nethers, so you
Yes.
might look for that area code, Brian, on your phone. If you're in the Netherlands, that's why.
Interesting. It's been a while since I got a random message from someone in Amsterdam. It'd be good.
But yeah,
There
an
you go,
open
there you go.
invitation there. We'll put some Capri Suns in the cooler for you just in case. But yeah, man, we're closing in on an hour and a half yet again. We just have too much fun with you, Mr. Glenn. Yeah, we appreciate you coming and being on the show again. You add so much.
Yep.
Oh, always good to be here. It's good to it's good to actually talk wrestling again after so very long.
Oh man, yeah. If we do anything, that's we do talk some wrestling sometimes in between hyena
time to
penises
time.
and bread preferences, we get to wrestling every now and then. But in the meantime, before we get to the Bash at the Beach 2000 next week, keep up with us on the social media. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Search The Shoot Show and you'll find us. As the Skylar found out, it may take a combination of underscores or spaces, but you'll find us.
Yeah.
Or
initiative
got our
of
own
podcast.
Twitch.
Or call the Shoot Show hotline 4132-I-SHOOT. And also, look for us. We're trying to figure out the Twitch situation. You know, they banned Dr. Disrespect, so they got money to spend. Maybe we should go over there to the Twitch and see what we can scare up.
Hey, you're not wrong.
But
This
so
is
yeah,
$1
man.
million.
We'll put a bow on this one and put it on a high shelf, safely away from last week's episode, and cherish this memory always. But until next week, guys, please do take care out there and bring some sunscreen because it's gonna be a hot and stanky one.
That's right. Good
right,
talking
guys.
to you, boys.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next time.
Right.
Yo,
Bye.
Talking to you later.